So I was looking on at the news, right? And I'm gonna put this video out tonight. So it'll probably be Tuesday morning, but Monday night, if you understand where I'm coming from. And I was looking at the news and everything, and I'm seeing how everybody's getting, ready. This is a life-changing moment for us dealing with this presidency. We're going to see tomorrow night who's going to be our next president for the next 4 years. And everybody's getting prepped and prepared, and I'm starting to see things that are just unprecedented. You know what I mean? Like, people are boarding up their houses, businesses are boarding up their businesses, stores and all types of stuff. I'm pretty sure a lot of stores are going to close early tomorrow because everybody is bracing for whatever outcome may come out of this situation. And it's just crazy that the day and time that we live in. And I'm just glad that I'm prepared. I'm not prepared, like 100% prepared, but I am somewhat prepared. And what I mean by somewhat prepared, meaning that I have protection. Now, of course, I'm not going to run down what I have. That wouldn't make sense. But I do have a certain amount of protection here where I, as well as my family, will feel safe. So if anything were to pop off tomorrow or in the near future, I know that I can protect and defend my castle, protect and defend my family. If somebody busts through that door right now, right? I know that I can get whatever I need to get and take care of that situation. That plain and simple. And I've heard a lot of Northerners talk about how they don't want to be down south and how the south is slow and they'll die in the north and blah, 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 and this and that, so forth. And I get it. You're entitled to live your life the way that you want to, the way that you choose to live it, wherever you want to live, whether it's in Antarctica or in South Africa. But the thing of it is wherever you go, you want to make sure that you are capable of protecting and defending your lives and your loved ones' lives. And it's crazy, that at one point in time, until Pretty Ricky put me on it, at one point in time, I just thought that black people was synonymous with illegal guns, meaning that the only way a black person can own a gun, can have a gun, is by getting it illegally. And then Pretty Ricky put me on to the game. He's like, yo, nah, listen, if you don't have any type of domestic abuse or shooting at people and stuff like that on your record, you can get a rifle right now. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, the state of North Carolina has it where, it's an open and carry state. You can go get a rifle right now if you want to. And you know what I did? He sent me the link, and my first gun, I'll tell you that part. My first gun was a GSG 16 22 LR, right? Now, some people may say, well, man, that gun has no power to it. But if I shoot you with a 22 LR, a GSG 16, I may have to shoot you a couple times, but you're going to die. It's that plain and simple. It's nothing complicated about that. And then after that, I got another gun, and we're here. You know what I'm saying? So my point in making is that I didn't know until Pretty Ricky put me on. Right? Now in the state of North Carolina, you have to have permits in order to get a handgun. I have two. And I'm probably going to get a couple more permits because I damn near used all of my joints, right? But anyway, you can have a gun and you can be able to protect and defend your family. And that's states like Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and the list goes on. I'm just trying to understand. They're boarding up houses. They're boarding up businesses. Civil unrest may happen. Anarchy may happen in the streets. in particular in the streets of New York. And you are telling me, you all that live in New York, you all are telling me that you'd rather live in a place where you can't protect and defend yourself? That if you do protect and defend yourself, it would have to be an illegal gun. So let me get this right. You have to protect yourself from the criminals, right? But then you're in fear from getting caught with the gun from the cops because it's a 1-year sentence, mandatory. I think it's 1 to 2 years mandatory in the state of New York if you get caught with an illegal gun or a gun, period. And that's crazy to me. I love New York. I was born in New York. My family's from New York. But that's just one thing. There's several things such as the weather, the cost of living. Those are several things of why I wouldn't go back to live in New York. But one main big situation that I sat back and I said to myself, there's no way in hell that I can ever live in New York again, is I won't be able to take my guns with me. And believe it or not, once you own a gun, I'm telling you, I thought that it would be the other way around. I thought I thought I would be, wilding out and everything. Because when I was younger, I had borrowed this gun from this dude because I had some beef or whatever have you. And I was in the house just cocking it back, they didn't have Instagram and nothing like that. I wasn't taking selfie pictures and stuff, but I was in the mirror like what I'm saying? I was wilding. I thought the older version of me would be that same way. But now it's more so a gun safety. I truly understand what a gun is for. And guns are very dangerous. They are very dangerous. Especially one of the guns that I have that has no safety. None at all. So that means if you pull the trigger and it's cocked back, it has a bullet in the chamber. And you pull that trigger, it's gonna go off. It's gonna go off. That's a fact. And the thing of it is with guns and bullets, they don't have any feelings. They don't sit back and say, oh, I'm shooting my owner. No. They're gonna respond because they're tools, they're machines. And some of the guns, hey, believe it or not, if I had a situation, right, I would use, I'm not gonna tell you all my guns like that, but I would use my other gun other than the GSG 16. Why? Because every now and then it jams. 22 LRs are just, 22 guns, they're just not reliable. They're just not. Pretty Ricky has a 22 and I've shot that in quite a few times. The gun just jammed out of nowhere. But I can at least say that I had something. Some things. But being in New York and just walking around naked, let's be real. The only people that have guns are cops and crooks and criminals. That's crazy. So you want to be a walking bullseye? That's crazy to me. I can never imagine living in New York and being on a train 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm seeing, prime example, I'm gonna tell you one story. It's real quick. I was on a train. Where was I going? I think I was coming back from a club, and I forgot what train it was because I was drunk. I can't even remember. It had to be, one of the trains had to be the E train because that's the train that's gonna get me home. So I don't know whether I was on the E train or the J train. I mean, both of those trains are gonna get me home. But I was somewhere in Manhattan and I had to catch some train to get to the E to J. I forgot what it was. But anyway, I was on the train. It's late. It's like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, right? I see this dude. He got a long trench coat on and a hoodie over his head. He's looking back and forth. I'm saying to myself, my spider senses are going off. I'm like, okay, this don't look right? So I get up and I move further down to the other side, the other end of the train, right? I didn't go into the next cart or whatever. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at him, and then the train stops, and the doors open. So as he's walking out, I see him switch the machete that he had in his side trench coat to the other side. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Now, scenario, what if he would have charged at me? What would I would have done? Nothing. I'm a sitting duck. And it's that plain and simple. And the cops don't be around in the trains like that. Y'all know that. That's from New York. Y'all know that. And in situations like that where you have to sit back and say, yo man, you know, I love New York and all of that, but I need to go somewhere where I can actually have a gun and it's legal. If I get stopped right now by the cops, you know, as long as my gun is in my trunk, and as you know, I bought it. If it's a handgun and I had the permit, or if it's a rifle, you know, of course you got your paperwork got to come back from the FBI. They say it's okay. You get to pick up your gun. So as long as my joint is as long as it's legal, the cops and I tell the cops, hey, listen, sir, I want to alarm you that I have a firearm in my trunk. It's mine, it's legally mine, and you have my permission to go in my trunk and to get it for my safety just as well as yours. You know what's gonna happen? After he writes me a citation, maybe I might have been speeding because he stopped me. You know, that's the reason why he stopped me. He's gonna hand me my gun back. Well, he's actually gonna put it back in the trunk, take the magazine out, and make sure that the gun is secure. The end. And if I have my CCW, but I can have my gun, I can conceal my gun. Man, y'all just don't understand just how important it is. Now take your heed, I'm not gonna even lie to you. Getting the gun is that's easy. That's easy. The hardest part is practicing your aim, going to the gun range, practicing gun safety. Because a gun is not to be played with. It's just not. This is the reason why I'm not showing y'all my guns. I showed one of my guns on this channel, and I kind of regret showing it. And the only reason why I did is because I wanted to push and promote gun ownership, and specifically the black community. Because I can tell you, when I go to the gun range, whether I'm going, well, most of the time I'm going with Pretty Ricky. So when Pretty Ricky and I go to the gun range, I'm telling you, I'm seeing 12-year-old, 11, 10-year-old white girls, white boys learning how to shoot. They're putting, and this is not a race situation by far. I'm just telling you to learn from them. They're putting guns into their 12, 13-year-old sons and daughters' hands. And you know what we're doing? We're taking it away. I was introduced to the gun world by my stepfather. He had guns. And I took one, he had a 38. Took a 38 revolver. Took it to school with me one day. And then I had it the whole day. I had some beef with some kids. I was like 16, 17, but in Durham, North Carolina, I'm not gonna even lie, it was a culture there. I'm just not lying. This is for real. It was a culture. It probably still is a culture there. Like, you had guns. People, young kids, young boys such as myself had guns. But that wasn't my gun, you know. So I took it to school, you know, and I had it the whole day, you know what I'm saying? And I popped off in the neighborhood like by 9 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? My step cousin Earl, he had guns. This dude I went to school with, Alan, I'm not gonna say his last name. Alan, he went to jail at like 17. Like I was cool with him one day, you know. We going to school, different classes, and then that weekend they had a football game. It's this black high school called Hillside High School, and I think they think they were playing Northern High School or something like that. Alan gets into it with somebody. He winds up killing his kid. So I'm just saying, like, you still living in New York without protection? Good luck on that, man. You know, there's no hate towards New York. It's just, it's 2020, man. I'm just being real. I love New York, man, but New York is played out. There are other places to live, and that's safe, and that you can live a nice life. And the only reason why you feel as though, for you New Yorkers, that are just so stubborn and stern on living there, the only reason why you feel that way is because you've never been anywhere else. You've never lived anywhere else. I dare one of my stepsisters, I dare one of my families, my aunts and uncles, or anyone or cousins that's in New York, come to me on some, oh, you country, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm gonna say? Oh, you stupid. You wanna know why? Because you lived in New York all your life, that's all you know. I've lived in New York. I've lived where you lived at. I lived in Brooklyn. I've lived in Long Island. I've lived in Queens. I've lived in Atlanta. I've lived in Orlando. I've lived in Durham. I've lived in Raleigh. I've lived in Greensboro. I've lived in Charlotte. Where have you lived? Some of you New Yorkers have never ever been to Manhattan. Y'all are still living and dwelling in the same area. Never been to Long Island, Staten Island. I can tell you, when I lived in New York, I went to different places, different areas. I wasn't gonna stay in Queens. But some people are like that. Live all their lives in one spot and think they know everything. That's crazy. My father, I think he's gonna die there. My father has lived in New York all his life. All his life, man. And he's retired, and I think that he's going to live there forever. Forever. I was discussing this with Pretty Ricky. Like, yo, I remember one time when I was like, you know, younger, like in the 90s or whatever have you, and I was like, yo, man, I wish I was born and raised all my life in New York. Because being a hybrid, like, it's confusing. I don't know whether I want to say I'm from New York or whether I want to say I'm from North Carolina, because I've lived in both places for years. But now, I'm not confused whatsoever. I'm glad that I had this type of life. I'm glad that I was exposed to certain things. Because if I weren't, I would probably be stubborn just like you all. Man, nah, I'm not going down south. Da-da-da-da-da. You know, I'm gonna end it with this. They say that if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's what New Yorkers say, right? I had a dude I was cool with. Dude straight up from Brooklyn all his life. He came down south and he left 2 years later. Couldn't take it. So I'm just trying to understand. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So why did he run back to New York? Because that was his safety net. That's all he knew. Let me tell you something. I'm not planning on staying in the United States all my life. That's corny. That's whack. Especially when I know and I see people doing it. Living out my dreams, my hopes and aspirations. That's corny. Yo, straight up. I'm not here to knock any of y'all. I'm just telling you, this doesn't just go for New Yorkers. This go for everybody, period. Everyone that's just been living one place all their lives. That's corny in 2020. I'm telling you, that shit is corny. And don't give me that stability mess, because since this COVID-19 happened, where's your stability now? So there's no stability in nothing. Let me tell you something. The earth can have earthquakes and shift. The tectonic plates can shift and cause earthquakes and cause this whole land to break apart. There's no stability in nothing. So why not take that great leap of faith? Shit. People that are in business always take risk. They always take chances. And if they suffer the loss, what do? They get back up and they try to do it all over again. What do you have to lose? just that plain and simple. And if somebody's trying to hold you back, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, oh, I hear this all the time. I got to take care of my mother. I got to take care of such and such. I got to take care of such. Why not try to take care of yourself? Why not try to make you happy instead of trying to make everybody else happy? If I'm not happy somewhere, I'm out. I don't care what it takes. I wasn't happy in Atlanta. Pretty Ricky will tell you. I called him up and I was like, yo, listen, I can't take this. I'm trying to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I really want to move to Florida, but you know, my money situation is not good enough for me to move. And I'm gonna move back to Charlotte. He was like, yo, check it. I got this place, America Homes for Rent or whatever have you. Look on their website, see if you can find a house. This is my word. I found a house in a week. Next week I was in Charlotte. I don't play goddamn games. If I ain't happy some goddamn way, I'm out. Don't think, hey listen, I do these videos about Charlotte and I love Charlotte. But don't be surprised when you see a picture of a U-Haul truck. When I post up a picture in my community section of a U-Haul truck, a picture of a U-Haul truck, don't be surprised. Don't say I didn't tell you already. Yo, do whatever makes you happy, man. You love living in New York, stay there. All I know is I got guns and I don't see myself ever separating myself from my guns. Just, what am I gonna do with my hands type shit? Later.